Hi, thanks for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. I just fished, I'm up at Hilton Lakes number 3. Had really good luck with my fly rod for YouTube this morning, caught a bunch of fish. And then I did a little bonus fishing for Wilderness with Amani Patreon with my fly rod. Caught some more fish. Fishing slowed down a little bit, but I still landed a few nice ones. And now, because not everybody in my viewing audience fly fishes, I'm gonna do a little spinning rod action. And I'm gonna be fishing left-handed. Those of you that are new to my channel, my right elbow got really sore just from fishing so much and whipping jigs and fly fishing. So I'm kinda still learning to fish left-handed. My right arm's almost better, but I'm still gonna continue to fish left-handed until it's 100%. And I learned to fish with the left hand a little better. So normally in this situation, I would use those rubber jigs made by Sierra Slammer, or if you're not fishing in special regulation waters, you could use the ones made by Power Bait. And they're just the little rubber tube squiddy jigs. But I got this thing. It's a 132 ounce marabou jig, and it looks really good when it's in the water. I haven't used it much. I'm not gonna have a lot of range. So I started fishing for YouTube at that point, right there at the end of the beginning of the lake. That's where you first come in. I fished till about there, stopped YouTube, then I started fishing for Patreon and went all the way around the back of the lake. The back of the lake has a lot of bushes. It's harder to fish, and it's got a really shallow shelf that didn't have a lot of activity. Even if it was, it'd be kind of tough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my way back over there and start fishing there before I head out. It's not even 1 p.m. yet. I've already shot 2 videos and I've only been fishing for about 4 hours. So I figure I got another hour in me. So let's see if we can catch something. Before I go, there's a nice one cruising right there. I wanna see if I can, I don't even know if I could reach him with this jig. Oh, this jig has no range. And so far, this jig looks really good to me. But the first fish I ran it by absolutely retreated. Now, normally these boulders in an area like this are really good. I just don't want to cross this boulder field, man. This is a lot of boulders to cross. And I don't have a lot of range on this jig. We'll see. Oh. Oh, he's looking at it, but he won't hit it. Oh, he didn't want, he wanted it, but I might not use this jig. The first 2 fish I threw it to went after it, looked at it, and then just didn't. Oh, and then he came right back and hit it. And then he came right back and hit it. And that's a nice one. Let's get him around this corner. I threw that jig out for the second look, and he came right back and nailed it. That's a nice fish. I mean, this thing just looks like a streamer, and that's all it is. Oh, and that is a real nice golden rainbow hybrid, and it could be the nicest one of the day. Nice golden rainbow hybrid right there. Look at that thing. That is nice stuff. Whew. There he goes. That was a nice fish. When that fish first saw this thing out there, it swam up, swam away, swam up, swam away, and then rejected it. And I threw it in for another toss, another look. And that second toss, he just hit it. I know there's gonna be big fish like that in these boulders, but I'm not gonna, I don't wanna battle these things, man. I'm gonna go in a little bit and then I'm gonna head back the other direction. But we'll fish a little bit of it. I'm gonna fish into these boulders a little bit because I'm seeing some nice fish swimming around in these boulders. And I put on an 1/8 ounce marabou jig. I don't know if it's gonna work. but it's gonna give me more range. Oh yeah, they're not as gung-ho as they were for the flies. You know, this is a little bit more suspicious. Yeah, these might not work. All right. It ain't over yet, though. I counted out that last one, and I only used it for that fish because the range on that thing just stunk. Here we go. Here's one. Here's one coming. I'm going to try to bring it right by him. Yeah, they're not into this thing at all, man. They're not liking the marabou at all. I'm going to have to go with the Sierra Slammer. I mean, I've seen several fish look at it and just say no thank you. So now I got this Sierra Slammer style jig. And to be fair, I only made about a total of 5 casts with those other 2 jigs. As soon as I see fish scared and swimming away, you know, I don't know if these are gonna work. These usually work. There's a little tiny fish swimming around looking at it. Nada. I think it's time to head back the other direction. Because if I go this way, I'm dealing with rocks as far as you can see. And then if I go this way, there's pretty much a trail the entire way. And you know what? Trail good. So I'm at the back of the lake. And these bushes stop you from fishing. There's a couple of spots where you can go out. But it's really super shallow right there. And it's just tougher to present. So I'm gonna go back and fish some of the water I already fished with my fly rod. This is a whole different look, so we'll see if that'll make a difference. This is the land of giant boulders back here. A lot of alpine lakes, you hit this. You get around to the back of the lake and there's just huge, from the talus that falls from above, you get these giant boulders and they can be really hazardous to walk across. That's why I don't feel a need to climb over that stuff. That's where I was a little bit ago. You know, if I don't contact my brother by 10 p.m. tonight, he'll send my rescue email to the Inyo County Sheriff's. But I don't want him to come to that, so I'm gonna stick where I can just walk on the ground. All right, I can use this tree as cover. There's more rainbows back here in this part of the lake, and the rainbows are generally a little bit more suspicious. There we go. You gonna do it? Oh, he doesn't want it. They're rejecting this thing outright, man. So far, the Sierra Slammer isn't slamming anything. He was going for it. If I didn't yank it away, he might have even had a chance to get it. The fish that were hanging out around here have vanished. They're feeding somewhere else. They're doing something else. I can see one still feeding right on the bank right below me. These jigs, though, this is kind of a bigger fish thing. And I'm not seeing any of the bigger fish. There he is. I know that looks like nothing you... Whew. He went for it. He attacked it, and I missed the hook set. And he went for it again. Oh, and I missed the hook set again. That thing went for it twice. 2 times. I had 2 times, and that time I felt him. Here we go. I know this looks like nothing you would naturally eat, but I'm just saying, just give it a try. Just give it a try. Just give it a try. They're being a little cautious on this thing, but they're hitting it. there we go. There we go. I said give it a try. Now I'm saying sucker. It doesn't look like anything you would eat. What are you even thinking? You fool. When someone says give it a try, run. There we go. I just put that out there and just jigging it. And the fish in this lake are pretty much on a spectrum between rainbow and golden. Some of them are more golden than others. Some of them are more rainbow than others. But, you know, they're all in here. So I saw one swim by right when I was shooting the conclusion to the fly fishing clip. That's why I seemed distracted. It was big, man. Oh, wind just hit it. And he was down deep. I could barely see him, but I saw he was a nice fish, like 14, 15 inches. And to get those, I want to throw this out and let it sink. Now, when you're fishing a jig like this, I have a clip on my fishing tips playlist. You got to watch your line. If it stops sinking, you got to set the hook, because you're not always going to feel the fish bite. A lot of times, you're not going to know the fish is even there, and the fish can come and go before you even know it. But I get good range with this. I can really let it sink. And that's what I catch a lot of the bigger trout on when I use these jigs, are the ones that I let it sink. They're the hardest ones to catch because you don't see the bite a lot and you don't feel the bite. You got to watch your line. And if your line just goes dink, 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 anything suspicious, set the hook. Feeding right under this bush. I'm going to throw it out wide so it's not so loud, and then I'm going to swim it into the zone. And he went right for it. He went right for it. He went right for it, and I did a panic set, and I missed him. Oh my God, he went for that thing. Sometimes they're afraid, sometimes they just want it. We throw it out there. He's out there still, and there's another one out there too. When they have time to look at it, a lot of times they'll just, oh, there we go. Oh. These smaller fish are having trouble getting the whole jig in their mouth. So, I mean, that fish swam up and just cranked it. And jigs are better when the fish are deeper. It's an effective way to fish. And I'm just giving it little twitches. And you know, when you get out with a jig and you see it, you barely got to move your rod tip to make the thing dance, you know? And you'll get used to it. So there's a nicer fish around this corner. He's in pretty shallow water though. I don't think he's seen me yet. And I think I can get to him left-handed. Oh, he's on the other side of a log. Darn it. All right. I'm gonna move up and I'm gonna try to get him a shot on the other side of this log. Oh. He's not even looking. He's done. I've already fished over here, so that fish might be one that I already caught. And if that's the case, he ain't biting for a week. Oh, he's looking at it. Oh, there he goes. He went for it. He didn't want it, and then I just kept jigging it in front of him. And he's a nice one. A lot of these nicer fish aren't biting the jigs, but you know, I was persistent. I just kept on jigging it. This guy's really nice. I get both my hands wet. I'm gonna hold him up with two hands. He's not gonna sit still long. Here he is in the net. That nice gold color. Then I'll hold him up as long as I can. There he is. Nice golden hybrid something. It's a golden for me. Woo! There he goes. And he rejected it flat out. He looked at it, barely even looked at it. And then I just kept on jigging it, jigging it, jigging it, doing the dance. Ooh, there's another one coming. He's new in town. He's new in town. He's not wise to the ways. He went for it, man. He went for it. He's not wise to the ways of the jig. Oh, man. He hard charged it and I pulled it right out of his mouth. I saw the white inside of his mouth open and I thought I had him. Let's see if I can get him to go again. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. Just do it. Just do it. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. Instantly regret. Instantly regretted it. And this is another case. He just didn't want it. And I just kept jigging it. There you go. Nice little trout, rainbow, golden something. Some kind of golden something. Golden treat is what it is. Oh, this jig's already falling apart. Once you catch a few fish, these jigs start to really come to pieces. So I got one left that's not falling apart. I'm gonna fish with that and then I'm gonna call it because I'm getting tired. I often do. I just met a cool guy. He's just camping out there by himself. Came backpacking up for staying the night. I'm almost to the front of the lake, so I'm gonna be wrapping this up soon, but I think I got a few more casts left in me. Hard charge. Yeah, these fish up front seem to be afraid of this thing. I mean, they're swimming up to it, but let's go find another spot. Ooh, there's one down deep. He's just cruising in the rocks. Oh, gosh. My left-handed spin casting is horrible. Can't see if anything's over there, but I'm just going to throw it out there anyway. A lot of these fish are straight up afraid of this jig. So I'm gonna throw it out. There's a lot of boulders and deep water stuff out there. So this is more traditional style jig fishing that I usually catch my fish on. And when I first came in, this area right here is the first thing I saw. And it's the first thing I thought was I want to get a jig down in there. So I'm going to make a couple casts out there, see if I can't get something, and then I'm going to call it. I was jigging that thing out of those rocks, and he came right out of there and grabbed it. I know I said one more, but I need one more. This one isn't enough. I need one more. I always need one more. But this time I'm gonna let myself have the one more. Oh. There he is. I'll have to get my hands wet on the net and get that more water. There we go. There we go. Jig's already out of his mouth. That's a fatty. Look at that guy. That guy's more rainbow than golden, but he's on the spectrum. There he goes. And that jig fell right out. Good thing about barbless jigs like this is whether I'm hooking my fingers or my clothes, or they come right out, and they come right out of the fish too, so they're easy to let go. This fishing's a little slower than the other fishing I'm doing, so it's harder for me to get every hook set, but I'm just whipping that out there. And there's fish all over these boulders out there. And you can let this thing sink to varying degrees. And a lot of times you'll get a hard charging fish that's coming out. He's too small. I don't even want him to get it. There was one chasing it that I was just like, we're your parents, dude. There we go. So there's boulders out there, and Goldens like cover, and they'll hang out down by boulders and rocks. And fishing jigs down deep like this is a little harder, but it's definitely works, man. I can't see anything, but this looks pretty good right here. You got some logs in there. You got some good ledgy rocks. So I'm gonna see if there's anything hanging out. Here's one more look at beautiful Hilton Lake number 3. And everything was working, you know. The jigs weren't working as good as the flies were working, but with a little bit of extra dancing with that thing, I got some fish to bite. I was also missing a lot of hits. I missed a lot of strikes on this, where smaller trout would come up and grab it, but they couldn't get the whole thing in their mouth cleanly, so I couldn't get a clean hook set. Plus it's barbless. On top of not being able to fit it in your mouth, it gets kind of tough. But it was a good day. Fly fishing earlier for both Patreon and YouTube was great. And the fish just seemed to be on a spectrum here. Rainbows, goldens, and everything in the middle. And it was good stuff. And I had a great time. But now I gotta take a nap. It's 2 o'clock. Figure nap it out for 45 minutes, hike out, and then I gotta drive home 3.5, 4 hours and start editing. I'm just, for me, 9, 10 miles round trip to come in here and catch these fish, totally worth it. Had a great day, and I still have a lot of day left, and I should get home early enough to get some of this up tonight. So when you're jig fishing, just remember, you know, sometimes it's long pulls, sometimes it's little taps. There's a lot of different action you can do on a jig. They're very versatile. So I hope you had fun today, because I sure did. Thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. Until next time.